All right. San Francisco 49ers come away with the dub. Turn the lights down a little bit for me here at Levi's Stadium. Figured we'd do a little live reaction to what we just saw. Obviously, getting to the live a little bit later, but still on a 49ers win. So feels good to see that the 49ers can, head into the bye 4-4. Obviously, hasn't been the season that I think really anyone had expected. Isn't really the season that we anticipated. But at the end of the day, 49ers are 500, head into the bye, and hopefully you're going to get some good news with Christian McCaffrey coming back. It was already reported earlier this morning by Ian Rappaport that Christian McCaffrey is expected to be a part of practice next week. Now, it is a bye, but they get a bonus practice. So CMC is supposedly going to participate in that. So, again, I think when we look at this win, you needed the win no matter what. It didn't matter if it was ugly, didn't matter how it came. You just needed a W in the win column after this one. And that's exactly what the 49ers did. Now, there's plenty to clean up, I would say, on both sides. You know, the 49ers offense I felt like was really slow out the gates. Um, only putting up 6 points in the first half. Obviously, from a 49ers, perspective, that's not going to be good enough. In the future, it's not going to be good enough um, to really maintain a high level of play. But to their credit, they were able to bounce back and they were able to put together some really good drives at a halftime. George Kittle stepped up big time on National Tight Ends Day. Debo Samuel was active early. Obviously, he got banged up a little bit. It was kind of quiet after that. Isaac Rendo filled in really well for uh, Jordan Mason, who's a little banged up. So, again, it just continues to be the next man up mentality for the San Francisco 49ers, and guys are stepping up. Again, I don't expect football to ever be perfect, but at the end of the day, the 49ers did what they needed to do to win. It got close at the end, and I know that made a lot of people probably feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit queasy when you see CeeDee Lamb get those two touchdowns at the end, especially with how open he was. A couple busted coverages on the back end. One where Jair straight up took out Renardo Green on one. So they'll definitely have something to clean up there. But Nick Bosa got a sack. Sam Okiwanu got a sack. Sam O's, but really stepped up big for the 49ers. Fred Warner was all over the field today. Diamador Lenore, another interception. Um, Jair Brown, interception. So I thought for the most part, they did a really good. I mean, I have to I'm really impressed with the defense. Now, granted, the defense isn't all the way back, and there's still some things to clean up. But over these last couple weeks, the defense has really played well. And listen, we don't need the defense to pull the weight around. We just need them to allow the 49ers offense to get into gear when it needs to get in gear. And that's exactly what they did. They kept the Dallas Cowboys to 10. And from that point on, without those two big busts, they were able to hold on. So I think there's a lot of positives to take away from this game, even though we can still objectively talk about how, again, there's still plenty of things to work on from this one. We're not going to sit here and say, oh, this is a perfect win, perfect W. But at a certain point, I think as a fan base, we just need to recalibrate our mindset to a win is a win, man. I get it. We want to win with style. We want to win with confidence. We want to win um, by being dominant and not letting teams crawl back into the game. I get it. I'm right there with you. But you got to start somewhere. And getting some of these gritty wins getting some of these ones that are a little bit ugly, kind of test you. I think serve a purpose. I do. I think it builds a callus. And as you know, man, just like with everything in life, just having the ability to respond to adversity, to respond to things when it's just not going your way. The 49ers didn't falter, didn't waver, and they kept attacking. So you got to give them credit for that. I really thought overall, again, there's questionable play calls. There's things that were, I think just working through, um, in the sense of I think we got so accustomed to the 49ers just moving so smoothly that when we get some dysfunction here or there, it's like we don't know how to quantify. We don't know how to manage it. And I understand that to a degree, but I do think that for right now, as long as the 49ers continue to execute and continue to stack wins in the W column, that's all I really freaking care about. Yes, we want to win a certain way and we want to get better and we want to improve. All true, all very, very, very true. But the truest is getting the W. And so we as the San Francisco 49ers put the Dallas Cowboys into a predicament. Their backs now against the wall. Um, we needed this win. Thankfully, Seattle lost today. Arizona did end up winning against Miami, um, but at least Seattle was able to lose, uh, and all that good stuff. So um, it's a long journey. There's a lot of proving ground left. And I think right now, as the San Francisco 49ers, get ready to head into this bye and, you have basically a whole new season starting up at the other end of the bye. I think you have an opportunity to really change and evolve and build and grow and get stronger and healthier. So again, you guys know me. I'm always hesitant to say that the season is over because I know a lot of people felt that way with the loss last week against the Chiefs, with how just disjointed it looked and how off everything was. Um, but again, man, it's a week to week league, and they were able to flush it, move forward, and be able to get the dub. So as it stands right now, feeling good about that win. I don't know about you guys. I'm not going to lie. I can definitely tell that my emotions when we enter a fourth quarter with a lead, I had to have a little bit of a conversation with myself. I was like, you know what? The 49ers are up multiple scores, but I'm not gonna sit here and say we won it just yet. I said, you know what? I've been here before. I smelled around fourth quarter. We should win. We're up by a lot. But hey, you know what? We've been here before. Teams have been able to cut it close, and we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait to to get excited about this one until we know it's in the bag. And listen, I know you want to be able to have faith. Um, be like, oh, our team's gonna get it. Our team's gonna pull it out of the bag. I get it. But at the same time, man, this is what this is. It's a proving ground. It's an opportunity to be faced with that adversity and be able to manage it and to be able to overcome it. And so that's what the 49ers did. And you know, I think although the first, if we're like going to do like a little bit of a like first half recap, man, you want to talk about building character. You want to talk about really understanding who you are as a player, as a teammate, as a coach for this team this year. You were as tested as you could be for being 4-4. I really liked what Fred Warner had to say. He's like, man, you know, we don't. I don't want to continue to be in this spot where we lose and then it's like, oh, this is a must-win game, and then we lose and then it's a must-win game, and this back and forth of no, like that's we just need to get better is effectively what he said. He said we just effectively need to get better week to week and not go through these ebbs and flows and backs and forths. And we need to continue to improve. And I'm like, 100%. I agree totally with what Fred had to say. I believe with what, Fred was trying to convey and the point that he was trying to get across. I just really think that that's what this win needs to be. It needs to continue to be a stack, man. Continue to stack wins. Continue to improve in areas. I thought one of the big adjustments is we saw a lot of Renardo Green on the outside. It looks like Renardo Green has overtaken Isaac Yadam, and I think that's a good development. I think that 100%. When I see Renardo Green, Diamador Lenore, and Mooney Ward on the field at the same time, I feel much better than I did with Yadam. And that's no disrespect to Yadam, just a little bit inconsistent when he had his opportunity. And it feels more calming of a presence to have Renardo Green um, out there playing really, really well. So really like that. I still think Malik, for the most part, from what I've seen, is still playing at a really high level. Um, really, really impressed with the defense, man. Really impressed with how the defense responded and continues to respond this season. Um, I liked it. I liked it. Again, you want to play all 60 minutes, you know, they had some lapses on a couple drives. You want to put it together for 60, but at the end of the day, beggars can't be choosers, and I'll take it how I can get it. And for right now, it's good enough. It's good enough. So now you build on that. Now you take it to the next level, and you continue to grind and all that good stuff. So yeah, I thought Brock Purdy did a really good job. Brock Purdy came under pretty heavy scrutiny this week, and rightfully so. It was a pretty rough performance against the Chiefs that he had. So, and didn't really start out all that hot in the first half either. He had some passes that were behind. Um, again, just felt a little gun shy, like a little, like you could sense, like, okay, Brock Purdy's human. He does feel anxiety. Like he does kind of have those moments where he's a little too anxious. Like that's what it felt like in the first half. But again, Brock Purdy came out in the second half, and that felt like it was gone. It felt like he was confident with his throws, confident with his reads, hitting guys in stride. Uh, good ball placement, correct reads, getting out using his legs, uh, moving the chains. I really did think that Brock had a nice one for sure. I thought his ability to really bounce back in that second half, I thought was pretty nice. Um, Kittle, hell of a day by Kittle. I think. Oh, Kittle, Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall looked pretty electric on that end around that he had. That was pretty nice. Really excited with how Ricky was utilized. I saw a little bit more creativity on some of those big hitters. Those are some of the things that I'm appreciative of Kyle dialing up and getting guys the ball quickly, uh, getting them the opportunity to get into open space and do those things. We already talked about Garendo. Garendo had a really nice day. Garendo's really proving to be a really good running back. As his confidence builds, as he's like he just looks so much like Mostert. He had one play where it was completely stuffed on the inside run, and he almost bounced it out. He did this spin to the outside, and there was a Dallas defender waiting for him. But man, if there wasn't a guy there, he would have housed that. So Isaac Garendo to me is really um, continuing to impress. Even Patrick Taylor. Patrick Taylor touched the ball maybe once or twice, and he absolutely flattened Kendricks. Um, I really like Patrick Taylor, man. I'm a Patrick Taylor fan. I would, hey, if Jordan Mason can't go, obviously the 49ers are going to have to, thankfully they get a bye. So I think the shoulder can rest a little bit and we can get Jordan Mason right. But man, you really think about this and you start to think about a backfield with a healthy CMC, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Garendo. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the 49ers might have a little bit of a three-head monster on their hands in regards to running backs. So, although injuries are terrible and injuries suck, man, you talk about preparing guys. You think about how much preparation that Jordan Mason and Isaac Garendo have gotten as a result of CMC being out. And if CMC comes back and he's himself and he's that guy and he stays healthy and you get all those reps for those guys, that'll only benefit you in moments down the stretch, down the year. Um, so I think the first half of the year, man, little roller coaster ride. I think that's if we want to talk about how we view that, that's how I view it. It feels like a roller coaster ride. Um, but I would say I don't know how you guys feel about this. You can let me know in the comments. I'm curious about your opinion on this because I think it's kind of gone back and forth in the last 2 weeks. But do you think the 49ers should be buyers or sellers? I think they should be buyers. I've said it and I will continue to say it. I think that as long as the San Francisco 49ers are not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, they should be doing absolutely everything they can to make their roster better. Whether that's interior defensive line help, whether that's edge help, whether that's safety help, whether that's wide receivers, whatever you can do, man. I'm of the mindset that if you have a shot at the playoffs, you do whatever you can. Now, granted, not saying go sell all your first round draft picks. That's not what I'm saying. Be smart. You can find value. You can find contributors for fifth and sixth round draft picks who just don't have a future on other teams. They want a change of scenery, and you get them for cheap. Get high upside, um, talented players that aren't a fit for their current place, and go out and try to see what you can fit into your scheme. And I think wide receiver wise, there's multiple options, but I do think they have to go get a wide receiver. You just cannot rely on the health aspect. Um, you can't rely on the health aspect of these wide receivers. You can rely on the talent. You just can't rely on the health aspect. And that's why I've always kind of pushed back on on the thought that you don't need to trade for wide receiver. You need bodies. You need healthy players. And right now, Jawan Jennings is out. Debo Samuel continues to be banged up. Both the rookies you've had have been banged up early on. There's no guarantee that these guys are going to be healthy through the second half of the season. We already lost. We already lost Brandon Ayuk. So if you can add a competent wide receiver who can play legitimate snaps and make an impact, and we're talking fifth, sixth round draft pick, I think you have to do it. I don't necessarily think you want to move first and second rounders and just go out and try to throw your draft picks around. You absolutely need to keep picks to be able to build through the draft, but you're going to be able to get a fifth round compensatory pick back by someone leaving in free agency. So you'll be able to recoup a fifth. So that I really don't think that's too much of an issue. So go get someone who can help you in the wide receiver room. Go get someone who can help you in the defensive line room. And if you can come up on some other, high upside players, go for it. I'm not in any position to throw in the towel on this season. I think you need to do whatever you can to continue to improve and continue to attack whatever that is, whatever the formula is. You know, I'm gonna put my trust into John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan to get this figured out and to be able to do what they need to do to put this team on the right track. They have a proven track record of doing that in the past. So with me, they have the benefit of the doubt to get that done. I believe they will get that done, and I do believe they'll make the right decisions that they need to make for the franchise in order to keep pushing this roster forward and making it competitive. And that's what you want at the end of the day, is to make this competitive and to go on a freaking run. That's what it's all about. But glad they got the win. Glad we got a win going into a bye. Oh my gosh. Glad we got a win against the Cowboys going into a bye. Oh my goodness. Infinitely better for every single one of our mental health that the 49ers going into this bye with a win. So love it. Love to see it. Um, Time to get this thing back on the tracks, baby. Keep pushing along 1 week at a time. Stack those wins. After this, road trip to Tampa to go face Baker Mayfield. Keep it rolling. I know a lot of 49er fans in Florida, so I know a lot of 49er fans going to show up to that game. So hell yeah, we got the win. Shout out to you guys. Enjoy this win. Remember, wins are hard in the NFL. We're a little spoiled, and that's okay. Wins are hard to come by in the NFL. Enjoy this win. We have 2 weeks to enjoy this, see what moves the 49ers make, see what they got cooking. I think they got something going on, but appreciate you guys as always for tapping in and continuing to vibe on this journey. It's been a wild season, wild off season, all that good stuff. But hey, we're still rolling. Screw the Cowboys. We're out.